serve as mayor of this great city, and we are having I am now calling the special meeting of the Charlotte City Council to order and welcoming all of you who are watching. Today's meeting is being held as a virtual meeting. Excuse me, let me get my mask right. There we go. Today's meeting is being held as a virtual meeting in accordance with the electronic meeting statutes. The requirements of notice and access and minutes are being met appropriately. I hope that people are going to be able to view this at this time on the government channel, the city's Facebook page, and the city's YouTube page. However, this will be a continuous opportunity for people to watch over the weekend. So let me begin on the special meeting with the introductions of the Charlotte City Council in the usual order.
Good morning, everyone. This is Julie Eisel. I serve as Mayor Pro Tem and at large.
Happy Friday, Dimple Ajmera at large.
Braxton Winston at large.
Larkin Eggleston, District 1.
Malcolm Graham, District 2.
Good morning, everyone. This is Julie Eisel. I serve as Mayor Pro Tem and at large.
Renee Johnson, District 4.
Good morning, everyone. Matt Newton, District 5.
Victoria Watlington, District 3.
Tarek Bakari, District 6.
Ed Driggs, District 7. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say that today the City Council will conduct this meeting to hear from eligible candidates who are interested in filling the current at-large City Council vacancy vacated by former Democratic Council member James Mitchell. We received over 100 applications, and the first thing that I want to say is thanks to everyone that completed the applications. I'm going to hold up this book to show you how many people really took the time and energy to express the willingness to serve. I am just so proud of the commitment of these folks to come to say, I would like to participate in this city, in this democracy, and a commitment to public service. We had a number of diverse candidates. There were certain qualifications that had to be met. So today we're dealing with those that met those qualifications. And so let me remind you what they are. You had to be a registered Democratic voter. You had to be 21 years or older and a resident of the city of Charlotte and qualified to vote in a city election. You know, we now have 106 eligible applications, and of those, we have almost 70 that agreed that they would be willing to take this morning throughout this afternoon to make a 2-minute presentation about why they should be considered. So I want you to know that if those folks that were not able to participate in this meeting, they can certainly contact individual council members, and the council members' email addresses have been provided to them. The next step in this process is that on Monday at our strategy meeting, February the 2nd, council will have an action item to deliberate a final or a vote on this item. There's no guarantee that it'll be what time it will be. We usually will have a few presentations, and then the council will address the issue of filling the vacancy. With that, I think I've covered basically thank you again for everyone that participated. I hope you understand that this is a commitment to fill the vacancy that would start immediately as soon as we can get someone sworn in, and would be of service until the December swearing in of the council, because we do have an election this year. So with that, any other comments? I want to introduce the staff that's helping us. There is a whole crew of people that help put this together, and it's really good for us. I thought about this. If we had a major issue, this would be the kind of speakers list that we would have. And so I want to thank the city clerk, the deputy city attorney, the city attorney, Ms. Jackson, all of those that made it possible for this to happen today. And with that, we will go ahead and begin with our first speaker, unless there are questions from the council. Any questions from the council? It's hard for me to see you, so I'm going to rely on Ms. Jackson, and we do not have any questions from the council. So I'm going to let you know that the clerk will take the 2-minute time limit. When the bell rings, I will say thank you, and then if you have additional remarks, you can certainly email those remarks, or if you have your remarks written, you can email those to the city clerk, and they'll be provided electronically to the Charlotte City Council members. I'm going to call 3 people at a time, and if you'll be ready to go in the order that I call. So the first person is Judson Larkin, followed by Ryan McGill, followed by Rebecca Wilden. So, Mr. Larkins.
Madam Mayor, esteemed City Council, thank you for your consideration. My name is Judson Larkins, and over the past decade, I have been a servant of the community through small business. No substitute exists for experience on the front lines. I have seen the desperation in the eyes of a business owner as his business was on the brink during the housing crisis. I have seen the joy on the faces of those experiencing record profits during the economic boom. And over the past year, I have seen the scared faces of many as they anxiously await news of further restrictions. However powerful those experiences were, none rival hearing from individuals I had met along the way. I received calls late at night from parents struggling to feed their kids because they cannot find gainful employment due to lack of training or degree. I've seen the grandparents nervously go out trying to stay as safe as they can from an invisible killer. And I've helped those families move who have been displaced due to a rent increase that they can no longer afford. Or why did these individuals confide in me? Because they knew that I cared for them. And this vacant at-large seat is a chance for me to help transform transportation, increase affordable housing, end legal discrimination of LGBTQ plus community, and finally rid us of those racial barriers that exist. I hope that this served as an introduction to my passion, dedication, and my commitment to making Charlotte better. A future for Charlotte must include a future for all. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Mr. McGill?
Thank you for this opportunity to share. First, I acknowledge James Smudgy Mitchell for his dedicated service to our city. Smudgy has spent most of his life working to grow Charlotte into what it is today, and he deserves our highest regards for his long contributions. I have learned much from opportunities I've had when working with him. President Biden stated, "A rising tide lifts all boats." Here is how those words resonate with me as a Charlottean. As Charlotte continues to grow and prosper, leaders must be vigilant. We must consider the well-being of the least of our neighbors in each decision. We must be smart and allow data to drive our decisions without losing touch with the people we are serving. And we must be mindful to look at the forward-thinking solutions that will benefit our city and our future, and not just what is right there in front of us. The council has some complicated decisions before you, and what is needed is someone who can learn quickly, adapt, and overcome. I am that. I'm a team player, a problem solver, and a diplomat who will work with anyone to accomplish the mission. I have used my life in service of others, and that is highlighted by my nonprofit work with marginalized children, veterans, and people living with HIV/AIDS. I continue to serve the North Carolina Army National Guardsmen, and you may be seeing me fly over the city now and then. I promise that I will continue to be a stand for equity, fairness, and compassion. I also give my word not to run for a city council seat in 2021. Thank you, each of you, for your unwavering service to Charlotte and your consideration in voting for me to fill this seat.
Candidates, let me ask you to do something. Please do not touch your microphones. We're going to mute and unmute everyone. So if you unmute yourself, you're going to be muted back. So please don't touch your microphones. We will unmute you when it's time for you to speak. Thank you.
Mayor Lyles, council members, my name is Rebecca Wilden. I live in East Charlotte with my Rottweiler Willow and my spouse. Thank you for considering my application. I want to serve not because I see it as a stepping stone, but because I see it as a seat at the table. A seat at the table to shape Charlotte's vision for mobility and transit, our community's first comprehensive plan in my lifetime, and to strengthen Charlotte's commitment to sustainability and livable neighborhoods. I would work with the budget process at every meeting to make sure we don't leave any of our neighbors behind due to COVID-19. Over the past year, I've donated, volunteered, and worked with my neighbors to make sure Windsor Park Elementary food pantry is stocked. Thanks to many of you on council for chipping in with that effort. I served food, prepared hundreds of meals for folks sleeping on the streets of Uptown, but I know I can personally do more. The City Council has the responsibility to do more. What sets me apart for this seat is the breadth and depth of professional experience I would bring to the issues council will face this year. You have my resume and scores of emails from neighbors, friends, and elected officials from across the state supporting my candidacy. So I'm not going to belabor the point of why I applied and what sets my application apart. Instead, I want to tell you how I would show up as a council member. I would read the hundreds of pages of material before each council meeting. I would ask questions at staff briefings to respect our time at the dais. I would put our goals as a team before my personal self-interest. I would listen to each of your points of view and the community's before making my own decisions. I sincerely believe that our ability to respond to the issues facing Charlotte is only limited by imagination, and I'm ready to put it in that work. Thank you for your consideration. I would be honored to have the opportunity to serve.
Head and not the heart. So John Bomele J, Eric Platts, Anthony Andrews. So Mr. Bomele J.
Hi, good morning, Madam Mayor and council members, hopefully future colleagues. I'm John Bommel J, but I go by my middle name, Blake. In 2 minutes, I'm going to quickly tell you who I am, why I'm applying, and what I contribute. So I'm a native Charlottean. I was born and raised on the west side in Forest, Pawtucket, and I'm a proud product of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools at UNC Charlotte. I'm an active member in the Charlotte LGBTQI community, particularly community fundraising efforts, Charlotte Pride, and the Charlotte Royals. I'm passionate about my career in information security, working with Charlotte staples like Novant Health, Ally Bank, and American Tire Distributors. I applied for this position because I'm interested in seeing Charlotte grow into a world-class city while keeping it the city that made me. I believe in the Safe Charlotte model, where we support our current neighbors, build a sustainable community, implement changes to our environment, and create the city that we want to be. I believe in Charlotte, but I want Charlotte to work for everyone. We're not just for those in expensive apartments, but we're for everyone, native or otherwise, who are born here and want to stay and realize success, or have come here seeking opportunity or change. My work within the LGBTQI community has shown me that the inequality that our neighbors experience daily, and I want to bring equity and inclusion and the opportunity for upward mobility to our entire community. Working in information security leadership, I've had the opportunity to experience and guide large-scale transformations, manage risk, budget, and conflicting needs. I excel in getting input, buy-in, and ensuring inclusion of all stakeholders for community-wide success. I can give an uncommon perspective from my experiences in the LGBTQI community and from the information security corporate world. I've continuously found in my career that often solutions can be found in other sectors, and I want to bring to bear my expertise in those other sectors. Ultimately, I'm here. I want to help, as well as all 143 plus other people who applied, but I believe that I have the experience, skills, and abilities to bring value to the Charlotte City Council and thus my hometown at large. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Platts? Mr. Platts?
Yes.
Hello, thank you. First, I want to say thank you to my Lord Jesus Christ for this opportunity. I want to say thank you to Charlotte for this opportunity. I am born and raised in Long Branch, New Jersey. I have lived here in Charlotte, North Carolina for the last 2.5 years and is a current business owner of a demolition and hauling business. I am interested in being on the board because of my concern for our infrastructure and the safety of our roads. With my background in the construction industry, I feel that I could bring a lot to our city of Charlotte with my knowledge of safety on the roads and how many vehicles that we have and how many different people is traveling throughout our city. One of my main things I will focus on would be the lighting situation that we have. It would be the markings on the ground. It would be the stop signs. I also want to work on dealing with our homeless issue, dealing with one of the main, I'm getting a little choked up here. I apologize. I want to try to work on pushing the community service program that we have here, having more people focus on that, having more community service being done as far as cleanliness of our roadways, cleanliness of our city, and also getting more homeless people acclimated with getting back into the working industry. And then also when we have these companies that's coming into Charlotte that is building here, want to also implement a program where they have to
All right, thank you, Mr.
people.
Platts. Thank you. Your 2 minutes are up. I appreciate that. Mr. Andrews, Anthony Andrews.
Hello. I first want to start by thanking each of you for allowing me the time to speak before you today. My name is Dr. Anthony Andrews, and I have been in private practice for the past several years providing therapeutic services for the people of Charlotte. Now, I specialize in trauma-informed care, substance abuse, and rehabilitation counseling, both physical and psychiatric. I am also a professor and researcher at the graduate level, and where my interests are in mass incarceration, recidivism, employment, and the impact of ecological trauma. Now, it's my passion in these areas that has led me to submit an application for this vacancy. You know, when I mentor and speak with the clients that I see, so many citizens often feel unheard due to their disability, the criminal record, the history of substance abuse, or even their social class. Now, everywhere we turn, we hear the words in mental health, so we know that we need it. You know, we need it in our police force, we need it in our schools, in our low-income and high-income neighborhoods, and even in our jails. You know, individuals need jobs, but people also need career counseling to figure out what they actually like, you know, what they're good at. Now, in my role as a career counselor, I have placed individuals into gainful employment, for the ex-offender who's often turned away, to the millennial who is often undecided. You know, I believe in a holistic approach to wellness. I want to continue to advocate, but not just for my counseling chair, my classroom, or in journal articles and research articles. I want to do it right there from the city seat as a city councilman. I hope to strengthen the policies that are already in place and work with each of you to strengthen the city of Charlotte. I ask that I be considered for this position so we continue to serve and make Charlotte a city of wellness. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next 3 speakers are Crystal Screen, Joel Odom, Curtis Hayes, and we'll start with Ms. Crystal Screen.
Morning, Madam Mayor, City Council members, and staff. My name is Crystal Screen. I do apologize. I'm unable to activate my video this morning. I was having some computer problems. But I want to say that I put in for this position because as a recent retiree from Piedmont Airlines and the New York City Police Department, I think I bring a myriad of experiences that would help best serve the citizens of Charlotte. I spent 20 years in the police department. Some of that time I was an investigator for the Internal Affairs Bureau, investigating police misconduct. I also worked in the Office of Equal Employment, which also allowed me to investigate allegations of employment inequity. I recently retired from Piedmont Airlines, which is a large employer in the city of Charlotte. There, I was the training supervisor and was instrumental in creating a process that they currently have in place to facilitate the hiring of new hires. I put in for this position because I have the time, I have the passion, and I want to dedicate my free time now to serve the citizens of Charlotte. One of the things that I have noticed recently is an increase in our homeless population. And with the homeless population comes children that are also homeless. And I want to use my skills, I want to use my knowledge to assist in coming up with some sort of program, some sort of assistance that can decrease the number of homeless that we have here in Charlotte. I know that there are a lot of things that we need to get right, but this is one thing that I really want to get right.
Thank you, Ms. String. We appreciate you. Thank you. Mr. Odom. Mr. Odom.
Good morning, Mayor. And
good morning, Joel.
My name is Joe Elijah Odom. I am the best candidate for the temporary city council at large position. I'm asking for your trust and vote. For these reasons, I sincerely love the city and have been putting in my time, talent, prayers, and treasures in the positive growth and development of Charlotte. Starting from the early age of 10, working on and with various campaigns, individuals, and organizations from across the city, from working on former Mayor Anthony Fox's campaign with the historic Washington Heights community president, working on Mr. Mitchell's campaign when he was just running for District 2 and running for city council at large. This is a rare opportunity for council to follow the direction of the city and the nation. President Biden and the Vice President Harris is leading the charge that the young adults should and will be on the front. I promise, if appointed, to continue the work of previous council and to work with the current councils that are in office in putting not myself forward, but the city and the citizens. And to be the leader that reach back and uplift the children and young adults of Charlotte so they can pick up the mantle and lead one day. My name is Joel Elijah Odom. Thank you. I ask for your vote. I ask that we can come together and work together to build a greater and better city. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
Good morning. I am Curtis Hayes Jr., and I'm running to represent all the people of Charlotte. I have been in the community since I was 18, impacting positive change. Starting with a squeegee in a bucket, I have created hundreds of job opportunities for my fellow Charlotteans. I have taken my past experiences and now teach the youth and my peers how not to make those same mistakes of failing not only themselves, but also their families and communities. I've also dedicated my life to volunteering and being a philanthropist in the community to inspire individuals and organizations to continue making positive change within their communities, city, and state. I was recently internationally recognized for the passionate message that I gave during the George Floyd protest to find a better way to deliver love, justice, and liberty to all. If elected by the people, I plan to use my extensive experience in community activism, social justice, and entrepreneurship to enhance the lives of my fellow Charlotte residents. I want to thank the mayor, council members, and the people of Charlotte for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today and hear my vision on creating a better way for the people and the city of Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next three speakers are Valerie Starks, Stephanie Aljabadi, and Elizabeth Megan. Ms. Starks?
Good morning, Mayor Lyles, Mayor Pro Tem Eisel, council members Ajmera, Eggleston, Winston, Driggs, Graham, Watlington, Bakari, Newton, and Johnson. I am Valerie Starks. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to meet and greet you for this special opportunity. I call you by name because just like the people you represent, I want you to know I see you and my future role with you important to perform at large. We must represent everyone as if we know them by name. In the at-large seat, I'm elated to have opportunity to represent the diverse voices who may not feel like they're seen or heard unless there's an issue they have to make noise about. A little about my personally, I am a mom of two sons, 18 and 26. I relocated here from Charlotte in 1998. I am the wife of a retired federal law enforcement officer from ATF, and I've been married over 28 years, and I've been a career woman. I have blue in my veins, being the daughter of an NYPD officer retired of 28 years as well. And a mom who was in banking, real estate, and legal. My vision to support include affordable housing, homelessness and crime, education, jobs. But before we get to all of that, we have got to get back to the basics. Food, utilities, housing, and transportation. People cannot concentrate on anything else until those basic needs are met. In working for the United States Census Bureau, as you see, which is part of my credentials, government, media, community, I have had my hand. I've been a public servant over 30 years, but working 2 decennials, I have touched every single aspect of the Charlotte community. I am very excited to be a part of your team. I think there are so many things that can be done now, but in order to empower our neighborhoods and empower the city of Charlotte, before we get to crime, education, jobs, housing.
Starks, your time is up. Ms. Starks, thank you. All right, Ms. Al-Zubeirati.
Morning, Mayor Lyles and Commissioners. My name is Stephanie Al-Zubeidi. I'm a native Charlottean who left in 1988 to attend NC State University. I returned back home in 2009 after living all over the Southeast Europe and Eastern Europe and traveling and working around the world. So many aspects of Charlotte have changed during that time, and so have I. During these 20 years, I pursued a career in international accounting and finance, including senior level roles for KPMG, Deleuze Group, which is Food Lion's parent company, and Novant Health. I have reviewed countless budgets, negotiated hundreds, if not thousands of contracts, built pro formas to assess new business opportunities, and hired talented team members to support these organizations. I've always been a strong voice and fiduciary for those groups who have trusted me to be their representative and to oversee their resources. 6 years ago, my husband, a pharmacologist, and I started Catawba Research, a clinical research organization. We run 12 to 14 clinical trials annually, many of which are generic drugs, bringing lower priced products to market. We've grown to 50 employees. We're headquartered in Charlotte and have facilities in Texas, New Mexico, Michigan, and Mumbai, India. I understand how to grow a business, navigate through governmental regulations, and bring high-paying, benefit-eligible jobs to a community. We've recently sold a majority share of our company to a private equity firm, and I am transitioning my role as CFO. I can proudly say that every organization that I've worked for has benefited financially and operationally from my work. I come to the table with information and data to help drive good, responsible decisions. My travels around the world have given me the ability to appreciate diverse people and perspectives, and helps me to think creatively about solutions to our most pressing challenges. I believe in collaborating with talented people and organizations to make our city a better place, and have personally supported in time and
Thank you very much. Your time is up. Please send any, if you want to have a written record of your full remarks, please send them to the city clerk. Ms. Megan?
Thank you.
Or is it Megan?
Mayor Lyles.
Yes?
Mayor Lyles and distinguished council members, it's a great honor to speak to you this morning. My name is Elizabeth McGann, and I'm one of the 370,000 new residents that Charlotte welcomed during the last 20 years. Here, I realized an exceptional quality of life, both personally and economically. However, I quickly came to appreciate that was not the case for everyone. While working time-intensive jobs, my husband and I tried to think of ways we could help resolve some of these inequities. We created and self-funded a foundation called CLT Rising, and over the past 5 years have focused on trying to make the dreams of high schoolers for college come true in historically under-resourced communities in Charlotte. Out of a strong sense of civic duty, I've recently offered my resignation from a premier management consulting firm in order to expand the foundation's efforts into equal access to justice and entrepreneurial enablement. When I heard about the vacancy on City Council, I thought I would be remiss not to offer my services, given my fortuitous availability and the overlap in focus areas. Thanks to my education and professional career, I have the business acumen, problem-solving skills, and work ethic that you seek in your appointee. This council has truly inspirational goals for the city of Charlotte. I would be humbled to help bring those goals to fruition by serving out the remainder of Councilman Mitchell's term. I thank you for your time, and I welcome your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next three speakers are Noelle Diatley, Alexa Parsley, and Tara Harris. Ms. Diatley?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. At the height of my volunteer commitments to the city of Charlotte, I spent many days visiting the Government Center for meetings. I was repeatedly encountering the same city employee who came to the conclusion that I was there so often that if I was not an employee in the building, I should be. Developing an integrated and multimodal mobility network is a key element of a more inclusive Charlotte. Equitable transportation policies and access to transportation play a huge role in developing connected pathways to employment. I've read the reports from the Charlotte Moves Task Force and the Charlotte Future 2040 Comprehensive Plan, and I am prepared to join the team working to positively impact all of our communities, especially those who are most underserved. I've spent the last 15 years volunteering in my community and not just listening to their needs. As a Mexican Native American, I hear them. I served on the Business Advisory Committee for 2 terms where we implemented the charlottebusinessresources.com website. We founded and I was named the first chair of the Charlotte Business Inclusion Committee for MWSBEs. When City Council asked for recommendations, I spent months learning about business investment grants and tax incentives for growth on the national and international level. I was chair of the Business First program for economic development by interviewing business owners all over Charlotte, the first volunteer of the year for the Charlotte Chamber, honoree as 50 most influential women in Charlotte, a graduate of the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department Citizens Academy, and I chaired the first technology summit for the Charlotte Chamber. Finally, in 2009, my doctor told me golf was not enough exercise, so I joined the Charlotte Martial Arts Academy, learning and working with special needs children. They taught me more than I could ever teach them. It is my honor to join the City Council and make the vision of our future Charlotte a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Parsley?
And good morning. My name is Alexa Parsley, and I am open to running for this open position because of my experience working in Charlotte for the past 2.5 years with a nonprofit organization named Teach for America. And today I wanted to share with you a personal story about my experience living, working, and teaching here in Charlotte, and why that has inspired me so much to become a larger part of not only of our city, but of supporting the future of our city and the young people who are traditionally sitting in classrooms, but today are sitting behind computer screens. My first year teaching, I had a student who worked really, really hard in school, but he was stuck between 2 worlds, a world where academic success and prosperity was a potential, but another world where behavior and family involvement could have ended him on the streets or incarcerated, or even something worse. And my commitment to that student was getting him involved in after-school programs and mentorship opportunities to ensure that he knew the opportunities and resources available to him in our great city. And I'm now proud to say that as a rising junior in high school, this student has already been a prospect at several colleges and universities in the state of North Carolina, has kept up not only in that mentorship program, but is also mentoring young men and boys in our city to this day. And the reason that I share this with you is because I think so much of our focus in our city is on people who are coming in, like myself, but the future of our city and our city success is already in our classrooms. And so I will allow my application not only to speak for itself from my experience in university level governments, as well as in my studies at Johns Hopkins University for my master's, but also most importantly, my experience in hearing and seeing firsthand what our young people in our community, what our families in our community are experiencing, and how I want to use not only my own personal experience and love for the city of Charlotte, but to elevate the future voices of our
Thank you
great
very
city.
much, Ms. Parsley.
Thank you.
Ms. Harris, Tara Harris.
If you can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
Charlotte is transforming. Our mayor and our city council are crafting policies to transform parking spaces into green spaces, cost-burdened home ownership and renting into restorative justice in home ownership and renting, transforming isolated food deserts and healthcare deserts into 10-minute neighborhood oases, and transforming people and small businesses in an airport ravaged by COVID-19 into a community experiencing vitality through its recovery. I welcome the opportunity to be part of that transformative work with you all. Good morning. My name is Tara Harris, and I am excited about this opportunity. I thank the council members and the mayor for your tireless service, and even just for holding this forum, listening to nearly 70 of us today. What a great problem to have, so many people who care about the city of Charlotte. What sets me apart for this work? Well, I am multimodal, just like that mobility network that we plan to implement through the right funding and the right infrastructure. I am multimodal. I'm an intellectual property attorney and a scientist, so I'm fluent in the language of innovation, and I understand the tech talent that we'll need to attract and retain to continue this tech town booming. I also know how to solve complex problems, and I work hard for justice and equality for people across Charlotte. I make a difference in people's lives. I'm a mother to 2 young children who are in the CMS schools, and I can go seamlessly from restructuring the governance of a local nonprofit to reading to students at the West Boulevard Library. You all are multimodal too, council and mayor. I see how hard you work on the 6, now 7 committees, wearing so many different hats and wearing them well. I welcome the opportunity to be part of your multimodal team.
Thank you very much. That's your 2 minutes are up. Our next 3 speakers are Paul Pegas, Sherry Redis, and Kelly Price. Mr. Pegas?
Hi, good morning. The purpose of the council is to work for the people. We are foot soldiers for the people of Charlotte. And what I want people to understand is that not only will I be able to go to any district and be able to communicate effectively and properly with the people in that district, I'll be willing to take the information that I receive from those people and bring it to you all collectively so we can, in conjunction, work together to make the way of life and the way of living in Charlotte better for everyone. A lot of the issues that you see stemming up right now is people feel like they don't have a voice. People feel like that they don't have a representative for them. People who may not have the best education or may not come from the best socioeconomic background. They just need someone, just a beacon, someone to speak on their behalf. And as a father and someone who works at Amazon as a process assistant where I'm able to see and interact with different people from different races, genders, and backgrounds, I feel like I am the perfect candidate, the perfect person to work with you all, part of the city council, so that we collectively as a unit can take the city of Charlotte not only as a beacon for North Carolina, but as a beacon for all other cities in the United States of America. We have the potential, we have the people, and I think I am the person to speak for the people and represent them in the Queen City.
Thank you very much. Ms. Redis?
Good morning, all. Thank you all for hosting this. I'd like to introduce myself as Cherie Redis. I'm a long-term care administrator, And over the past years in my tenure, I've had the opportunity to advocate for my residents, for my teams, for the families. Recently in this pandemic, it has hit my community and just this area of work very, very hard. The families there have relied on my leadership, have relied on my continued ear to hear and to listen, relied on my heart of commitment and discernment, my mind for service and consistency to advocate on their behalf. Under my leadership, it has been very rewarding for those. I have sought to find them different services to combat their challenges, such as relatives dying, their inability to visit and love on their loved ones, just to be a service to them in this time of dire imminency. As a quick study, the goals and objectives, I'm not a stranger to the goals and objectives of the council. I understand what it takes to mitigate challenges, to have a commitment, to focus on driven concerns, and I understand that the people need a voice to advocate for them. I'm no stranger to crisis management, creating policy and regulations, business development and sustainability, just to name a few. In closing, I'd like to thank each of you, Mayor Lyles and the council, for your time, your energy, and efforts on my behalf, and thank you for hosting this platform.
Thank you very much. Ms. Kelly Price, Ms. Price?
Madam Mayor.
I'm sorry,
Mayor Pro
excuse
Tem
me.
And council members.
Kelly's one of those gender-free names, so my apologies, Mr. Price.
No problem. Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members, I am an ordinary citizen, recently retired educator from Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, a member of the LGBTQ+ community, a community volunteer who is seeking to be appointed to this council to expand my role as a servant leader. I have the audacity to believe that I can do that because I stand on the principles of faith, honesty, integrity, and hard work. My entire career has been about servant leadership, from my time in the classroom to my time managing $100 million of taxpayer funding and taxpayer-funded programs to meet the needs of our children, their families, and their teachers. I worked within the letter of the law to ensure that our tax dollars were used in ways that met the spirit of the law and that actually made a difference for people in the people's lives that we serve. I've seen the growth of Charlotte over the past 35 years. I've seen what is possible when we commit to a common goal, revitalizing our center city, establishing a light rail line, and investing in neighborhoods. When we make these decisions as leaders, we have to prioritize the voice of the people on the inside of those communities that we look to improve before we prioritize the voices of those on the outside. My husband and I have both experienced how a representative government can work for or against our rights and pursuit of everything enshrined in the Bill of Rights. During our immigration process, we have seen firsthand how elected officials can either positively or negatively improve or impede a process. Our current elected representative in Congress does not believe in our rights, and so we find ourselves not represented at all. That is why I want to serve. I want anyone who contacts me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Price. Your time is up. Thank you.
To know that there will be heard. Thank you.
Okay. Our next three speakers are Amar Johnson, Amy Gowdy, Marcia Kilpatrick. Ms. Amar Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you. Please begin.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor Lyles and City Council. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to ingratiate myself with the City Council for consideration of the at-large vacancy. It would be a privilege and my honor to serve in this capacity alongside current members of City Council and for me to serve the citizens of Charlotte. Currently, I'm the president of the Stevensville Community Organization, located in District 2. I have the pedigree of dealing with the public and working with developers seeking to invest in the community. Engaging, embracing, and sustaining these relationships is paramount. Adding me to the City Council will mean I'll help the city conquer his pursuit of increasing upward mobility for its least fortunate residents by increasing diversity, equality, inclusion, and access by providing an increase in exposure and creating opportunity that is currently non-accessible to all citizens, while continuing to engage our most fortunate residents to achieve new apexes of success. This will make Charlotte a more perfect union of collective neighborhoods and business industries. This will also give me another opportunity in my life to leverage my career experiences and accomplishments to make the city of Charlotte a better all-American city by extending and developing amenities and resources that are needed to accommodate the city's optimistic future.
Thank you very much. Amy Gowdy.
Hello. Thank you for including me in this opportunity to serve the city. My name is Amy Gowdy, but most people know me as Miss Amy. I am biracial, a mother, and a passionate activist in politics. I've recently recovered from a severe case of COVID-19, so if I'm coughing, please forgive me. The Queen City has been home since 2000, having been relocated here by Selectron, which is now Flextronics. In the course of my corporate employment, I served on numerous boards, including the Carolinas Minority Supplier Development Council, along with Smudgy, and on the certification committee for the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, also known as WeBank. I feel this uniquely qualifies me on the business aspect of serving in that I know how to review budgets, work on teams, and support small businesses. In 2008, I started my own consulting firm, and more recently last year, I opened my own retail space, The Corner, in the North University area. The other area of my experience that I think is unique is my work with the youth of the city. I've had my story featured in Creative Loafing and Charlotte 5, so I won't belabor the details, but I want to point out that children are the future, and making sure their voices are heard and included is critical to the success of the city. Lastly, if you wonder how much I love Charlotte, I also own the brand DCCIV, and you may have seen these hats around. I love the city, and I like to support it. Thank you very much.
Very much. Marcia Kilpatrick.
Good afternoon, City Council. My name is Marcia Kirkpatrick, a candidate for at-large City Council, committed to public service and bridge the gap of injustice and justice between all citizens and police in Charlotte, an advocate for communities, Freedom Division Advisory Council, and leader, a voice for the silent who are ignored but relevant to close the gap of dividedness to heal the city. It is recognized, board members, you are looking for a competent leader addresses affordable housing, homelessness, self-sufficient families, and the youth. An experienced law enforcement official to dedicate a partnership with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. Over 25 years of community services to find solutions to crime prevention, domestic violence, and gun control. Received community award by former CMPD Chief Monroe and more. A proud graduate from a HBCU to work the return of CIAA, backed by popular demand. This brought millions into the Charlotte city, helping small and large businesses to remain open. A family reunion affair. Let us not forget the youth to instill mentorship, education, peer pressure, and bullying that exists to change for the good of humanity. I bring leadership, structure, project management, and public service, to name a few. Not for arrogance, but sincerity with gratitude. Today, you hear, see, and acknowledge me as Marcia Kirkpatrick, an advocate. But tomorrow, watch me work and let the show begin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have 4 speakers that I'm going to call on next. Latoya McCants, Jashawn Williams, Shirley Mitchell, and William Schaff. So Ms. Latoya McCants.
Good morning, Madam Mayor and council members. Let me start by saying that Charlotte is a great city. Let me repeat that. Charlotte is a great city. I have lived in Center City for almost 10 years, so I get to see the great the good, the bad, and the ugly. I witness the diversity of this city firsthand on a daily basis, from CEOs to our homeless neighbors. With all of the opportunities that this great city has given me as a business owner, I want to make sure that those same opportunities are given to every citizen. It is not a surprise that one of the greatest struggles of this city is upward mobility. We need to make sure that as this city grows, equity in education, housing, and economics are first and foremost for everyone. Thank you for your time. My name is LaToya McCants.
Thank you very much. Jashawn Williams.
It's Jashawn Williams. How are you today?
Well,
hello, Mayor.
thank you.
Hello, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. Nice to see you guys. If I haven't met you, then nice to meet you. My name is Jashawn Williams. I'm a certified professional in supply management, a supply chain executive for 21 years, and 8 of those years here in Charlotte. I've adapted and adopted Charlotte as my home. I've launched the 2014 My Big program for the Black Chamber of Commerce, the 2015 SBA Emerging Leaders Program. It's seen quite a lot of success. The 2017 ISM Supply Chain Conference, the 2020 Women Business Center Supply Chain Center of Excellence as well. I was appointed to the CBI Advisory Council in 2017 and led the Dynamic Opportunity Committee for 2 years. I've been seeing the word hyperbole a lot lately. I've been hearing the word hyperbole as well, and I had to look it up and see what it meant. And I realized that hyperbole is not to be taken literally. So exaggerated claims not to be taken literally. And so I would say that Charlotte has a lot to offer. I've heard people say that many times, that Charlotte has a lot to offer, and I believe it's true. It's not hyperbole. I would also say that supply chain has a lot to offer as well. I look at this from a supply chain perspective, but first we got to summarize supply chain. Sourcing and risk management, logistics, transportation, and cost management makes up supply chain. And so I would say from a sourcing and risk perspective, we got to make sure the proper equipment is had for CMPD as well as Charlotte Fire. We got to make sure that they're safe on the streets and they have the right PPE. Eastland Mall is a good example of sourcing and risk. If you source with the right partners, it goes very well. If you source with the wrong partners, it may not go so well. Logistics and transportation. CATS is the largest transit system with 23 million trips in North Carolina.
Thank you very much,
Charlotte,
Mr. Williams. Your time is up. If you want to send your remaining comments to the clerk, that would be great. Shirley Mitchell. Shirley Mitchell.
How do I unmute this phone, Geneva?
Please, we can hear you. Just go ahead and begin.
Good morning to the mayor and the city council staff. My name is Shirley Mitchell. I'm originally from Charlotte. I was born and raised here. I actually was born at a hospital that was called Good Samaritan, which is now where the Bank of America Stadium is. It gives me great honor and privilege to have this time to present myself. As growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, I stay in a historical neighborhood. And for a long time, the neighborhood has went through some changes. And some people was not proud to call this their neighborhood. But as the changes took place, I embraced. I joined the community board here in my neighborhood, and I became a voice in the wilderness by working on a newsletter that we have in the community. With that newsletter, I was able to reach out to all residents within the community. This is the Queen City, and I believe and I know that we can live up to our name by having great job knowledge, by embracing and getting the skill sets that it will take to keep our city abreast of everything. I am just proud to be a citizen of the Charlotte City, and I thank you for your time and putting this forum together. I hope each and every one of you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. William Schaaf.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, please begin, Mr. Schaaf.
Yeah. Madam Mayor, members of City Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is William Schoaf, and I am seeking appointment to the vacant at-large City Council seat. I plan on only serving the remainder of this term. I am a 28-year-old resident of District 6 and a Charlotte native. My experience spans from local journalism to public affairs to healthcare. But some of my hardest jobs have been from working in the gig economy, delivering both food and passengers as a 1099 gig worker. I believe my experience in this area will provide City Council with an important perspective. As we prepare for the future of our city, from transportation to battling inequity and increasing upward mobility, I believe we need youth representation from younger millennials and Gen Z community voices. They will play an important role in the Charlotte Moves Task Force, the Charlotte 2040 Plan, and the Charlotte UDO. In 2040, I will be 47. So these plans will develop the Charlotte I will see for a significant portion of my life. We are on the forefront of a really exciting future in Charlotte, and I believe I can help elevate voices of younger residents. At the same time, we must remember that we are in the presence of significant crisis. One crisis I think we must be proactive in preparing for is the mental health of our students. As recently reported by the Charlotte Ledger, almost 15% of CMS students failed the first quarter. I think the agenda reported this morning that almost a third of students are failing at least one class, and absenteeism is at an all-time high. I was able to experience this firsthand as a tutor this fall to more than a dozen high school seniors. When you consider the number of 18-year-old graduates this summer that haven't been in a typical academic or social interaction since they were 16, it really hammers home the importance of this. 5 years ago, during my summer internship at the Charlotte Observer, legendary editor Gary Schwab gave me the following advice: dial it back to people. Regardless of what we are working on, we must remember the people on the other side of it. As a member of the City Council, that's something I would carry with me. We must have an empathetic approach to service. So I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Our next three speakers are Maria Brown, Demario Baker, Natalie Douglas. Maria Brown, you're up.
Madam Mayor, just give us a few minutes. We're going to load, we're switching from the 11 o'clock slot to the 12 o'clock slot, so we're loading these speakers in.
All right, we've divided, I did not know, Ms. Jackson was just explaining that we've divided it up into hourly slots. The 12 o'clock slot, I feel we're pretty good. It was technology that got us a little bit later, so it's about 10 after 12. And we will have 18 people in this slot, and you guys are doing a fantastic job sticking to the schedule and getting your points across. So very much appreciate the time and thoughtfulness that you put into your remarks. So with that, we're ready to start with Maria Brown, followed by Demario Baker, and then Natalie Douglas. So Maria Brown, you're up.
Good morning. To the phenomenal members of the City Council of this illustrious city, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Maria Brown. I'm a master's degree mother, sister, friend, but most importantly, member of the community. I founded a mentoring program named Goals, Girls Obtaining a Love for Self, because I remember growing up lacking an outlet, a safe place, a community where I felt like I mattered. And this is why I've applied for this seat. I've served as the vice president of the Parent Teacher Association Board, and I'm known for having a strong voice for my community. My goal is to be a voice for the voiceless, an advocate for the youth and persons with disabilities, and to be a servant to the community. Within the last few years, I was diagnosed and healed from heart failure and cancer, lost my job due to COVID-19, and my 11-year marriage failed. I found myself in a place where I knew there were thousands of others just like me. And this fueled my passion and thrusted me into pulling myself up by my bootstraps and persevering. So why am I telling you this? Because I can give perspective. I've been in a six-figure earning household and thriving, but I've also been on government assistance trying to decide which bill I will pay today. While I may not be considered an ideal candidate, I can adamantly decree that with the strength of God, coupled with my resiliency, I will be a light where darkness, silence, and complacency once lived. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Demario Baker.
Thank you, Mayor Lyles and council members. I have made it my life's work to serve our community of Charlotte, and my interest is driven by my passion for service, unity, and equality. My fire is still burning strong, and my path has led me here. I believe in the democratic process, and I have faith in my intentions of working with others who do not share my background or share my same religious beliefs. Our cultural differences are what creates the very fabric of democracy. And at this time, I am ready to play a bigger role in the process. When in leadership, the foundation of your why should be permeating in the efforts of your initiatives. And when they are, the accomplishments can propagate prosperity and cultural unison. Since I've graduated from college, I've aspired to be a leader in my community. For the past 18 years, I've worked on the front lines alongside the people of Charlotte, trying to improve our city one person at a time. I have served 2 terms on the Mecklenburg County Community Relations Committee. In my last term, I was named the chairman of the Education Subcommittee. In 2015, I walked away from my HR career, and I founded a nonprofit organization called Inspire Us Foundation, and I have operated it full-time since inception. January 2020, Inspire Us Foundation was nominated for the Mayor's Mentor Alliance Grassroots Organization of the Year, and I actually personally won the Mayor's Mentor Alliance Mentor of the Year award. As someone who has political aspirations, I look forward to being able to continue my pursuit of building impactful bipartisanships, inspiring community unity, and ensuring growth for all. Thank you very much, Mayor and council members, for your time, and I hope to hear from you guys soon.
Thank you. Natalie Douglas.
Good morning. My name is Natalie Douglas. I am a lifelong Charlottean, so it is an honor to be here. After graduating from UNC Charlotte, I started as a community organizer, and in 2020, I spent the majority of my time talking to voters all over Charlotte about their anxieties and hopes for their families and community. I realized that the work that they would benefit most comes from the local level, and that is why I'm here. I want to carry those stories with me into this seat. As for myself, having grown up in West Charlotte, I understand the struggle that many families are facing. I know the fear and I know the anxiety of being priced out of the progress our city is making. And I know the fear of being qualified for a job that does not exist in our community. I want to work hard to fight for affordable housing and economic mobility. I want to see an economy that works on behalf of everyone, whether you're in the service economy or the finance economy. And as a mother of a second grader, I understand the importance of not only safe schools, but well-funded public education. Their future is also on us. As a young queer mom, I am honored to have the opportunity to be a voice and a visionary for all of the folks. All power to all of the people of our city. Thank you.
Very much. Our next 3 speakers are Sydney Pendell, Andrea Taylor, Larry Mims.
Madam Mayor, if I could just remind this group, please do not touch your microphones. The staff will unmute you. Please don't touch your microphones. The staff will unmute you.
Yes, this is all being controlled by a group of really competent people that work with us on many of these kinds of meetings. So no microphone touching by our speakers, and we'll keep going. So our next 3 speakers, Sydney Pendell, Andrea Taylor, Larry Mims. Sydney Pendell, you're up.
Madam Mayor, distinguished members of the council, it's my pleasure to speak with you today. Before I start, let me just say that I enthusiastically voted for a majority of you, and I hope you'll consider that when it comes time for your vote. My name is Sydney Pendell. I've lived in Charlotte for almost 7 years now, and it's safe to say that I've found my home. This is the city where I became the first person in my family to attend college. I hold a bachelor's and master's degree in accounting from UNC Charlotte, and I'm incredibly proud to be counted among Niner Nation. Charlotte is the place where I got my first professional opportunity in accounting. I'm a proud member of the professional services firm Clifton Larson Allen, where I focus on healthcare, not-for-profit, and state and local government audit. I am not joking when I say that I will bring a unique perspective and passion to the high-octane and fast-paced work of city budgeting. Charlotte is the city where I bought my first home. My wife and I worked hard for a modest living, and we know the struggles facing those trying to find affordable housing in Charlotte. We are truly lucky when a townhome in Eastland became available in our price range. As a member of the council, I would be proud to join those of you engaged in solving the city's housing issues and give all those in need the same experience that I had. On a personal note, I'm really excited about the proposed Gold Line expansion. Charlotte is the city where my wife and I grew our family. In February of 2020, we welcomed our son Hudson, we call him Sonny, at Novant Presbyterian Hospital. As a new father, I want to see that Sonny and other kids like him get the best quality education possible. Working with and supporting an education-forward agenda would be a primary focus for me as an at-large council member. So I think it's safe to say, as you all know, Charlotte's got a lot of opportunity for me and for those that call our wonderful city home. I know I'm in good company with these many applicants, and I am proud to count myself among them. I look forward to the good work of making Charlotte a truly great place to live, regardless of your decision today. Thank you, and go Hornets.
Thank you very much. Our Visitors Bureau will love the statement that Charlotte's got a lot. Thank you for that. Andrea Taylor?
Ms. Taylor has decided not to speak.
Ms. Taylor is no longer going to speak. So we'll go to Larry Mims.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Larry Mims. A lot of people come in here, they have speeches prepared. You know, I was always told to speak from the heart, so that's what I'm going to do today. I have been a citizen, resident of Charlotte all my life. I was born and raised here. I'm also one of the most recognizable names and faces in this city, not just because of what I do for a living, I'm a media personality, but because of the community work that I put in. I've been dedicated to this city since day one and that I became a media personality, so that's over 23 years. I've worked with the Salvation Army, I've worked with Black Love Charlotte, I've worked with several violence prevention units and youth advocacy groups. The biggest thing about me and the biggest asset about me, I think, is that I'm not a politician. You see, I feel like 65% of the residents of this city feel like politicians are out of touch. And I want to continue to be in touch with citizens for the simple reason that they feel politicians are out of touch, that they don't even know how much a gallon of milk costs. Average gallon of milk in Charlotte costs $2.20. Why is this important? If I'm a citizen of Charlotte and I'm dealing with the affordable housing crisis, I make $1,200 a month and I got to pay $1,175 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment to feed my 2 kids. When I go to the grocery store and shop, I have very, very important decisions to make in that store, and at $2.20, where it might not mean nothing to you, it means a lot to some of our residents that are going to sleep tonight in this city. So I want to continue the work that I'm doing out here in the city, and I want to continue to be an advocate and a liaison for the citizens of Charlotte, and bring back their thoughts and the things that they feel necessary to the council. Thank you. I'm Larry Mims, and I am a resident of the city of Charlotte.
Thank you, Mr. Mims. All right, our next 3 speakers are Brittany McCauley, followed by Carl Terrell, Russell Martin. So the next 3 speakers, Brittany McCauley, would you please begin?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hi, Madam Mayor and council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today and for considering me for this role. My name is Brittany McCauley, and I'm a proud Charlotte resident, along with my husband, Matt, our daughter, Ava, and our dog, Scout. I've spent the last 10 years in IT consulting and recruitment, and I understand the importance that employment has on individuals and families, as well as a community and a city. Over the course of my career, I've worked with Fortune 100 enterprises, as well as small and regional business. Great opportunity for marginalized individuals as well as people who are underemployed and unemployed.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, I'm not sure if she dropped out, but I do not have any sound.
We're having it's on her end for the connection, because we can see her talking but not hear her. So, Ms. McCauley? Your internet connection is not working for your presentation.
Madam Mayor, so Ms. McCauley, what I'd like for you to do, my team is going to call you, and we're going to get you in through the phone, and we'll circle back.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Ms. McCauley. Thank you. All right, so our next speaker, yes, Ms. Watlington? Okay, our next speaker is Carl Terrell.
Good morning, Madam Mayor.
Good morning, Mr. Terrell.
Mrs. Lyles, members of City Council. I greet you. I'm Carl Terrell. I have a lot of information to share, but most of you guys have it on paper, so I won't bore you. But I have 25 years plus public service in the city of Charlotte, working in transportation, business manager for the fire department, administration division manager for solid waste services. Also worked on many interdepartmental projects for the city. I have a lot of institutional knowledge, and I would like to share that now, serving the city of Charlotte. For the last 7 years, I've also volunteered on the Waste Management Advisory Board, dealing with solid waste issues. And so, in a nutshell, I believe I can hit the ground running as far as handling some of the challenges that face the city of Charlotte. I'm a forward thinker. I think solutions first. I'm optimistic. I would say cautiously optimistic. I try to simplify complex problems, common sense solutions. And I would appreciate your vote on Monday for this position.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Russell Martin.
Good morning, Madam Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. My name is Russell Alexander Martin. I am 28 years old, and I graduated with a BA in Political Science from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. I am a small business owner, minority and millennial of Percy Wraps Company, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak with you all and the fellow members of the dais and applicants. Utilizing this opportunity to help promote the general welfare of all Charlotte constituents and level the playing field for those who have been left behind over the past few decades and ensure future generations have better access to adequate community resources, notwithstanding small business owners, is my goal. History is the biggest proponent and benchmark to plan for a stronger and more equitable future. My volunteering, servant leadership, and community engagement extend to the Mecklenburg County Small Business and Entrepreneurship Advisory Board as of June 2019, the WIE Champions Group. I've also assisted with building the playground at Chantilly Park while I was at UNCC.
Thank you.
The main points I want to, hello?
No, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, sorry about that. My main goal is to work with you all to ensure that our city has a viable access to PPE, pandemic response, and ensure that we have equitable distribution of vaccines, mental health services to folks who have been negatively impacted. I want to highlight, I'm not trying to come in as a distraction, and I do not have intentions of running next term. I do believe the at-large position should be decided by the constituents of Charlotte via traditional grassroots campaign and citywide vote. From an economic development standpoint, I believe in economic mobility, social equity, access to capital, affordable housing, and address the homeless crisis in the Charlotte area is going to be key, including utilizing opportunity zones as a means of economic development.
Thank you very much. Your time is up, Mr. Martin. So our next three speakers, Latasha Earl, Adam Howell, Terry Lansdale.
And Madam Mayor, Ms. McCauley is back.
Oh, Ms. McCauley, we will circle back to you, and that way we'll catch back up. So let's go back to Ms. McCauley.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. That was definitely one way to be memorable. Not how I was planning on that, but just to pick back up, my husband and I and our daughter Ava are proud Charlotte residents, and I've spent the last 10 years in IT consulting and recruiting, and I understand the important role that employment has on individuals, families, as well as the community in a city. I've worked with Fortune 100 enterprises, as well as small and regional businesses, and have helped them develop strong employment and training plans that engage the community and create opportunity for marginalized individuals as well as people who are underemployed and unemployed. I've also worked with organizations on how to attract top talent in a market that's really competitive more than ever. On a personal note, I grew up in a very low-income family, and I've personally experienced the power that economic mobility has, and I strongly believe that employment is a key to making this happen, and I'm very passionate about creating the same opportunity for others, and I'd love the opportunity to serve the city this next year. Thanks for your consideration.
Let's go to our next three speakers, Latasha Earl, Adam Howell, Terry Lansdale. Natasha Earl, you're up.
Yes, thank you. I want to first thank you for this opportunity. My name is Latasha Earl, and I am a resident of District 3. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's degree in public administration. I plan to live in Charlotte for a very long time with my family and continue to play an active role in the community and making Charlotte a great place to live, work, visit, and raise a family. As a wife and a parent of two young men, I appreciate the utmost importance of living in a community that is safe, affordable, whilst enjoying the amenities families require. Being on the city council will be a way for me to give back to the community. I want to be part of the decision making that reflects the entire community. I currently serve as the vice president of the Forest Pawtucket Association and an active member of the Northwest Community Alliance. My 20-year career in public service and human services, where I currently work for a managed care organization where we manage federal dollars and state dollars for individuals with developmental disabilities, mental health, and substance abuse, as well as my experience in board governance, developing and understanding policy and procedures, community service, outreach, and advocating for others. This will give you my skills and insight that I believe will be useful for the council table. The things that I will focus on is violent crime, homelessness, police, economic development, education, affordable housing, and transportation. The legacy that I would love to leave behind is for our youth to see someone like me in the council stepping up, speaking out, and being part of the solution and influence them to do so as well. In closing, I would like to thank you for your time and consideration in allowing me to serve Charlotte on a bigger scale, and for that, I will conduct myself with professionalism, integrity, and commitment. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Adam Howell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of council. I, for one, cannot wait to be able to shake hands like it was 2019 again, and I'm sure many of you feel the same. I'm here today to offer my service to you in the city of Charlotte. I have no personal agenda. I am simply here to assist in achieving success through the vision you have set for 2021. I am content with the finite time frame of service. What appears to be priority is developing a critical path forward for improving mobility based on outcomes from the Charlotte Moves Task Force. I have over a decade of public sector experience solely devoted to improving mobility for the communities in which I have worked to ensure citizens had daily access to resources and improving their quality of life. From building support from diverse communities for a light rail corridor in Baltimore to helping garner buy-in from the public that led to a successful half-cent sales tax referendum in Wake County, North Carolina, I have been dynamically involved in helping to mobilize a better future for many communities. My involvement with the tax referendum opened the door for me to administer and manage aspects of the Wake County Transit program that fostered the planning and implementation of billions of dollars for new public transportation investment, as well as regional mass transit projects connecting the Greater Triangle area. I have been actively involved in building regional community support to develop positive solutions for complex needs, and I moved to Charlotte to do just that. I'm confident that, if appointed, my skills, knowledge, and background will benefit city leadership and citizens alike. I am prepared to help transform mobility and keep Charlotte at the forefront of progress and innovation. I greatly appreciate your time, and shout out to your communications staff for this great effort today.
Thank you very much. Our next speakers are Keith Way, Deborah Woolard, and Austin DePalma. So Keith Way. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed Mr. Lansdale. My apologies. Terry Lansdale. I am so sorry.
That's all right, Madam Mayor.
There's a big grid sheet here, and I'm trying to keep up, so just bear with me.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Madam Mayor, thanks very much, City Council and staff. Appreciate you letting me be here today. I usually work from the background, and as you know, I've served this council. I've also served City Council since the turn of the century with my first appointment in 1998. To the Citizens Transit Advisory Group, and have served since almost in continuous fashion for a variety of councils. So I've also served the county as well. and the Air Quality Commission for over a decade. I understand the relationships between city and county. My professional life relates to state and federal activity as well. I want to emphasize my role in your work today, your work yesterday, and your work tomorrow. I know that you're going to have a lot of issues coming up that you need to be prepared for and have someone on council that will contribute directly. The City Advisory Commission on Governments, this is a full-time job and support that. We've got an incredibly powerful Gateway Center meeting coming up. There's an outstanding pedestrian Americans with Disability Act survey out there that's going to influence the Charlotte Moves prioritization process as well. We want to improve the city of Charlotte. And I think that what I represent for you, the county and the state, I can contribute directly from the beginning. This week and this month and this year, especially coming up in the next 30, 60, 90 days is going to be critical. And I know that I'll be able to serve you and continue to serve you in this transportation area, the mobility area that this council is lacking in many respects to make quick, accurate, and informed decisions of how to proceed before the November election. Thanks very much for your time, and I'll turn it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the next three speakers, Keith Way, Deborah Woolard, and Austin DePalma. So Keith Way, you're up.
Greetings, Mayor and honorable city council members. My name is Keith Way, which translates into service to the community. I'm a native Charlottean who's born here, educated here, employed here, and since retired here, and I remain a service provider to our community. As a former police detective, my entire career was built on servicing the community. And I feel that my greatest asset has been my ability to connect with every aspect of our communities, which be economic, social, political. Over the years, I've been involved in some of the biggest volunteer efforts in this city, to include United Way, Police Athletic League, Right Moves for Youth, and I'm a long-term domestic violence advocate. Being a member of this council means a commitment to Charlotte's greatest asset, and that's the asset that we cannot and will not and refuse to let go. And that's the people who live here, who are born here, who reside here, who educate here, who work here, and come here to retire. Since retiring 4 years ago, I still feel about 5 to 10 calls every week from people still asking me to help connect them to community services to improve their quality of life. My appointment to the council would give every resident a listening ear and a voice to speak on issues, no matter how large or how small. And I feel that the person who's chosen for this position has to be a well-rounded person who could bridge the gap between resident and you all as policymakers. And we also have to realize that we're facing issues that we've never dealt before, we'll never see again, and that we're going to be making history, not only with this appointment, but going forward. And I thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Way. Deborah Woolard.
Greetings, Mayor Lyles, and to all of the council. I just want to thank you really for this opportunity to open it up to the citizens of Charlotte. That's absolutely amazing. It's hard for me to honestly talk about myself because all the work that I've done in collaboration, and it's really been the citizens of Charlotte that have made my work what it is today. So with that being said, it is a we thing. It is a heart of compassion that sees the needs that our citizens talk about every single day. And it's greater than just homelessness. It's greater than just affordable housing. When it comes down to arts and political issues, when it comes down to civil rights issues, the citizens have really come through, and I've had the opportunity to stand with so many of them, including those that are candidates today. So I'm just grateful once again for the opportunity. I've seen some amazing things transpire in 2020 that I never even imagined. You know, in the midst of the George Floyd outcome, I've seen protests on Betty's Ford. I've seen people march. But that very day when Food Line was broken into, when the glasses in the front of the grocery store were torn down, we came together as citizens and we set up a makeshift grocery store right there on Catherine Simmons for those that, you know, didn't have an option that particular day. because we know that transportation can be an issue when you don't have a car, when you can't afford an $88 a month bus pass. We were able to make it happen. We did it as citizens of the city of Charlotte. I've been able to walk with citizens to people's homes when they've had a family member murdered. So I know what it's like to be able to pull together and to band together for a common purpose and for a common need. I'm a domestic violence survivor as well as an advocate, and I've had compassionate people give to me so that I can put women or even some of our transgender community in a hotel when they've had to flee in the middle of the night, probably with their kids or even with their pets. So we've been able to pull on businesses. Businesses have shown up in a major way for I'm the founder of Block Love Charlotte. I've had businesses, individuals. This city has a lot of love and compassion, and it means a lot, and it will mean a lot to be able to represent those that have represented
Your
me
time is
in a
up,
major
so we
way.
have to stop you right there. But we've got your information. If you want to send additional information, please just get it to the clerk. And thank you very much. Our next speaker is Austin DePalma.
Honorable Mayor and councilpersons, I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity, and I also want to thank my fellow Charlotteans for their commitment to our city. It's pretty amazing that 145 people stepped up to try to fill this vacancy. My name is Austin DePalma. I'm a longtime Democrat and an active member of Precinct 67 within Council District 6, who's looking to do more for our collective communities. I believe deeply in striving for inclusion, equity, and independence. I grew up in a union family in the Northeast. I went to college, though, in the Southeast. I've lived in the Northwest, and I've settled with my wife, who's a native Charlottean, and my 2 kids here in Charlotte. I'm currently employed by a nonprofit whose work is focused on climate justice and advocacy work to increase access for democracy, or access to democracy for young people, especially those in marginalized communities. And I also serve on the Mecklenburg County Parks and Recreation Stewardship Advisory Board, whose voice was instrumental in halting work on the Reedy Creek Greenway Connector for fear of excluding surrounding underrepresented and unconnected neighborhoods. In addition to that, I'm an active member of the Charlotte arts community, which is often underrepresented in some of the proceedings. I'm interested, honestly, in working to better the lives of those in Charlotte through working with a diverse group of people to get common work completed and stop bickering. I believe I look at each situation objectively and find common ground so that I can work with others to find solutions for outcome-focused solutions. And I hold strong friendships with people on both sides of the aisle, so I understand the complexities of relationships with people from differing backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, and so forth. So again, I appreciate the time this afternoon. There are a lot of incredibly qualified candidates, and I look forward to potentially adding my voice to what's happening here in Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next 3 speakers are Curtis Stone, Mark Sumwalt, and Maurice Greer. Curtis Stone, you're up.
Mr. Stone did not join.
All right, Mr. Stone is not joining us. So we'll go next to Mark Sumwalt.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, council members, my name is Mark Sumwalt. I am a graduate of Davidson College and USC Law School, and I'm a lawyer by trade. I have lived and practiced law in Charlotte for 40 years, including running my own law firm for the last 21 years. Because of time constraints, I will not repeat my professional and public service listed on my CV and application, but I do want to briefly mention my political involvement and relationships that I've cultivated over 40 years, why I think I can be of assistance to this council. I was unaware of this until yesterday when it was pointed out to me by a county commissioner that I voted 46 times, perhaps more than any other applicant. Charlotte needs Raleigh's assistance in order to accomplish many of its objectives, including the Charlotte Moves Project, light rail, and transportation needs. I have developed deep, long-lasting relationships with the folks in Raleigh, including very close relationships with the governor and attorney general, and relationships with the Speaker of the House and Senate Pro Tem. While there are many qualified candidates for this position, I believe that I am uniquely qualified to help bridge the gap between Charlotte and Raleigh and the rest of the state because of these relationships. I understand it's the council's desire to eventually have a clean election in 10 months or so with no incumbent advantage. I have no desire to serve beyond the 10-month period. but if appointed, I pledge to do everything I can within this 10-month period to promote the city's interests, including leveraging my relationships with the power brokers in Raleigh where possible. I'm an advocate and fan of the city of Charlotte and am proud to have been a citizen for the last 40 years. If appointed, I promise to give you my very best effort and to do my small part to make this city a better place to live. I hope to have the privilege of serving this great city by joining you on the City Council for the next 10 months. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our next speaker, Maurice Greer.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. I want to start by saying Charlotte is home. I've met each of you at some point in my journey as a direct product of past and present council members' advice, inspiration, success, and failures. I've witnessed the growth that we pride ourselves so much on. As a former intern in the mayor's office under mayors Anthony Fox and Patsy Kinsey, I've had the blessing to see the challenges of our city and the solutions that our leaders, with the help of diverse perspectives, bring. There are so many dedicated citizens today who have spoken. As a graduate of West Charlotte Senior High School, UNC Chapel Hill, and a current law student at Howard, my experiences and my drive have been tailored to learning more about our community and the world, to find ways in which we can overcome some of our age-old challenges. Today, we must stress the importance of community and building bridges to understand one another across our communities through love. It's an acronym that I live by. It stands for listen, observe, value, and embrace. Whether I embark on this opportunity or not, it is important that we use these things to overcome our challenges and watch it make a difference within our families, our own lives, and our hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina. You all's commitment to these principles implicitly is what led me to want to serve alongside you in this capacity for only the duration of the appointment, to continue that work after a new member is elected by the community. I have no interest in seeking a seat in the upcoming elections, so that will enable us to focus on getting work done and finding solutions rather than politic to maintain an office seat. With a focus on intersectionality of our citizens, we'll be able to create solutions to help mediate many of our challenges that seem complex with a local, state, national, and global perspective with the people of diverse identities in mind. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing back.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, we're doing really well. You guys have just been great to help us move this along, and again, thank you for all of the comments and the reflections that we've had today. Our next group is now being loaded, and we will take a 10-minute break for the city council members. We'll have a 10-minute break just to give the team time to get everybody that's set for the 1 o'clock, but we'll start a little bit early, so we'll start at 12:55. Okay, everybody set on that?
Madam
Okay.
Mayor, I think.
Yes, Mr. Eggleston?
I think some members have things they've got to drop off for, myself included, towards the end of this next list. Can we make it a 5-minute break since we're making good time?
I'm okay with that.
Let me see if it's not my break, it's the break to see whether or not they can load all of the people that think that they were being loaded. So let me just check with Wendy, and if we can, we'll do that.
We'll try our best.
Ms. Jackson said we're going to try our best. So we'll take a 5-minute break and then come back for this. So I've got it. My time is 12:45. We'll reconvene at 12:50. Two more minutes, guys, 2 minutes before we'll be ready. It's 12:51. For the 1 o'clock candidates that wish to speak, and we're going to start with John Kennedy, Sarai Lewis, Dante Anderson. John Kennedy, you're up.
He has not responded to our phone calls or emails, so.
Okay, he has not responded. So Sarah Lewis is our next speaker.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Can you see me?
We can't see you yet, but I'm sure it will happen.
Okay. All right. My name is Sarai Lewis, and I am a Charlotte resident, have been since I was 12 years old. And I'm an avid letter writer to the city. I've always had a passion for Charlotte. Anywhere that I've moved, from undergrad until now, I've lived in Tampa, Charleston, and New York City. All I do is give Charlotte praise and let people know that I'm from here any chance I could get. So I think a passion for Charlotte is obviously the number one thing that you need to be in public service in the city. I moved here when I was 12 years old, and through college, through grad school, through jobs, I've always followed the progress of Charlotte, no matter what city I was in. I was reading the Charlotte Observer every single day. Having listened to everybody speak, it's pretty apparent that everyone kind of has similar ideas for Charlotte, as far as housing, addressing homelessness, infrastructure, inclusion, access, diversity. And with that in mind, I believe that it's most important that the communities are anchored in a spirit of collaboration. I think that being on council in this interim period, especially with COVID, it's really just anchored in a spirit of collaboration. And because although we may have the same ideas, we might have different ways of achieving those ideas. And I think for me, I bring an all-embracing community perspective. I'm a hard worker. I'm not afraid to be critiqued. And I think I'd be a great addition in this interim period as the city council rep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarai. Dante Anderson. Dante Anderson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, certainly.
Fantastic. Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of City Council, my name is Dante Anderson. I'm a native daughter of South Charlotte who's passionate about the advancement of the city I call home. I'm a product of CMS and has been able to shift my outcome of economic mobility by focusing on education and opportunity. I've served the city of Charlotte in a variety of ways, and I felt compelled to become a part of this process because I'm passionate about the future of Charlotte and all of its residents, native and new. We have to prioritize unique ways to address affordable housing and the growing homelessness crisis the city faces. Concepts like the Housing Impact Fund and others that focus on naturally occurring affordable housing should be reviewed and embraced. The transformational mobility network must continue to be a priority. Extending the bus corridors and adding new modes of rapid transportation is a direct way that we can ensure equitable mobility for all Charlotteans. As our city grows into the vision of the 2040 comprehensive plan, we must ensure that crime does not increase in scale. I'm an advocate for equal opportunity and safety for all. That's why I support the council's consideration of a non-discrimination ordinance to ensure the protections of all Charlotteans, regardless of race, sex, religion, and orientation. Thank you all for your consideration of my ability to step into the at-large seat and assist in the forward progression of Charlotte. Throughout my career, I've met success by being an active listener, a critical thinker, and solving problems through collaboration. I invite the opportunity to do so with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speakers are Robin Taylor, Jessica Davis, Belinda Lanier. Robin Taylor, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. My name's Robin Taylor. I have a passion for service to make our community a better place. When I was young and idealistic, I wanted to join the Foreign Service. Today, I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser. Now I live in Charlotte. I work in the nonprofit sector with the Catawba Lands Conservancy here in the city. I want to join the council, though, because I want to address the needs of Charlotteans, the economic investment in long underserved communities, addressing our housing needs, and expanding our transportation options to be fully functional for all of our citizens. I want to help make Charlotte a vibrant, forward-looking city, prepared to face the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. I want to thank you for your time today, and I know you're going to make the best decision for our city.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Jessica Davis.
So for this speaker group, Ms. Davis, don't try to touch your microphone. Our staff will unmute you and mute you, so just let them do it, or else you'll get muted every time you hit it.
Thank you. I'm trying to do my camera. For some reason, the camera's not coming on. Do you all control that as well?
We do not. You'll have to turn on your camera.
Okay. There we go. Thank you. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, and esteemed council, good afternoon. My name is Jessica Davis, and I am before you to ask for your affirmative vote to be appointed to fill the at-large vacancy created by the resignation of Councilman James Mitchell. I am a wife, a mother, and a proud American descendant of enslaved people. I am a community advocate and an educator that sees and understands the needs of this community, all of our community. I will not belabor you with my resume. Instead, I want to offer you an insight into the type of colleague that I will be to you and the type of servant I will be to all of the people of Charlotte. I believe in doing the work with wisdom and knowledge. When the call was made by our government staff for citizens to get involved in the 2040 comprehensive plan, I answered. I have worked with countless others in our community to lay the framework for the future of our city. I'm an advocate for community values, safe neighborhoods, prioritizing an equitable growth framework to ensure that affordable housing is a reality, for improving access through a multimodal transportation framework that does not marginalize already fragile communities, and for collaboration between government entities, the business community, and most importantly, the community. As an educator, I believe in not only equipping myself with information and knowledge to guide my actions, but also equipping the community with information and knowledge to aid their navigation of complex systems. I understand the law and I understand the roles and responsibilities designated to our city council. I am familiar with the strategic priorities already set by the current council, and I am here to support the work that council has already begun. I did not apply for this position to satisfy my own agenda. I applied to this position to serve the people of Charlotte. And in supporting me, you will support the people of this community who are crying to be heard. I welcome your support on Monday.
Thank you very much, Ms. Davis. Belinda Lanier.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to start my video. Just give me a second.
And if we can just have everyone go ahead and turn on their videos now so that. Okay, we can see you.
Okay. Hello, Mayor Lyles, members of the City Council. Thank you for your consideration. I won't waste our time with information that is already on my application. Instead, I would like to discuss the call to action that brought me here today before you. That is to fill the vacancy seat on the City Council. I feel that I am the best candidate because not only am I an active member of this community, a precinct delegate chair, a public servant, and a businesswoman who is capable of rising to the occasion in a crisis. Under our new president's health initiative, there is a plan for a massive rollout, which will increase the doses within a matter of weeks. Now is the time for all hands on deck in working to relieve fears, ensure public trust, and assisting in making the vaccination available to everyone while restoring the city to a stabilizing sense of normalcy. The call to action is real and urgent. You may ask, what can I do in a short time? The answer is, as a community leader, I am willing and able to make calls, pool my resources, find the space to set up emergency health kiosks in the neighborhoods throughout our city, mobilize volunteers to put ears, eyes, and boots on the ground to help ensure health and safety to our citizens. Our call to action is to be prepared and ready for what is to come. My name is Belinda Lanier, and I thank you for this opportunity. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Our next three speakers are Gregory Williams, LaToya Fuller. Did we already have Ms. Fuller once? No, I'm sorry, that was a Miss LaToya McCants. LaToya Fuller and Daryl Bonaparte. Gregory Williams, you're up.
Can you see me now? I've got my camera on.
We can see you, and we can hear you as well.
Excellent. Let me first thank everyone, Honorable Mayor, Honorable Pro-Tem Mayor, and City Council for allowing me to speak in reference to this at-large position. At-large is myself. When I looked up the definition and looked at it and studied it more, this person will do more than just one specific area. It will be throughout the city, and that's my put into my application. I'm sorry. I thought someone was saying something. I don't need to rehash what's in my application. My work with City Council, whether I'm selected or not, will still continue. My focus on I call it they call it affordable housing, I call it workable homes, education, and doing the things that City Council that needs as it relates to a balance and a compromise. I think that's more focused than anything. When I travel throughout the United States and throughout everywhere, when I'm talked about the city where I'm from, I say Charlotte, North Carolina, and I quote them that says, Charlotte, there's no better place for me to be. There's no other place that I'd rather live than in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've written about it in songs. I've written about it as it relates to the homeless. Currently, I'm studying and working with architects and builders to address the affordable housing in the area. To go even further, when I retired, I went back to Central Piedmont and taken the architectural program to better understand how to design and build, and I'll be more willing to send those designs to you all if needed. But my focus now is finding out how do I come in and how do I support the city, not as someone in the streets as I do now, but also in City Council being able to understand how we operate in the process to move things along better. I look forward to assisting, whether selected on City Council at large or just being called in to give feedback or assistance to the city in any way possible, because I do love the city. Thank you all, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you very much.
You're
All
welcome.
right, LaToya Fuller.
Ms. Fuller
I'm
has decided
sorry.
not to speak.
Ms. Fuller decided not to speak. Mr. Bonaparte.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And we can see you as well.
Okay, awesome. Greetings, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. I want to humbly and briefly lay out my reasoning for being your choice. I am a Charlotte native who has spent almost half of my life serving the state and country in the military. I am now a fully retired disabled Army veteran, and at this time, I want to give a few examples of receiving the trust, support, and vote of local, state, and federal elected officials. The Charlotte City Council once trusted and voted in favor of me to serve 4 years on the Zoning Board of Adjustments, where we had to review and make judgments on major development projects throughout the entire county. When I served as a national committee man to represent the state of North Carolina Young Democrats, I was unanimously elected with votes also coming from members who were elected officials in their respective cities. To receive the endorsement of the Mecklenburg County Black Political Caucus as a candidate once for City Council, city, county, state, and federal elected officials voted to say they entrusted me to govern the city of Charlotte. And lastly, to have once served as the first vice chairman of the Mecklenburg County Black Political Caucus, again, city, state, and federal elected officials voted to entrust me to lead and govern on their behalf. I have been very fortunate to serve in my beloved city, and I hope that you would take a good look at my credentials to feel confident that I can successfully do the job required as your colleague. I thank you and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bonaparte. Our next three speakers are Glenn Thomas, Darielle Logan, and Patricia Fry. Glenn Thomas, please begin.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, and Council for your time today. My name is Glenn Thomas, and I am honored to address you today as an applicant to fill the vacant seat of Councilman James Mitchell. I have been a resident of Charlotte since 2003 and moved away twice and relocated here back in 2016, but having spent close to 14 years here in Charlotte of my life. In 2004, I had the honor of serving in Mecklenburg County Manager's Office as a management analyst under the leadership of Harry Jones, which subsequently led me to accepting a role with the City of Atlanta under the leadership of Mayor Shirley Franklin as a budget and policy manager of the city's public safety division, with enterprise oversight of police, fire, corrections, and courts. Also working with support agencies and the City of Atlanta's airport. In that role, I supervise all city public safety matters regarding policy, budget, development, and oversight, capital projects, technology, and external partnerships on behalf of the city. I also had the privilege of working closely with City Council and Mayor's Office, drafting and reviewing legislation and presenting budget and policy recommendations to Council. As a leadership executive for close to 20 years, I've also had the pleasure of working as an executive director for organizations such as YMCA of Charlotte, Communities and Schools of North Carolina, Justice Initiatives, and also serving as a regional associate director for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, and currently a CEO of Hard Work Leadership Group based here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I ask for your support to fill the remainder time of the unexpired term for this seat because I am prepared to fulfill the role that is really awaiting the selected candidate. Having served on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Community Relations Committee, coupled with my experience in city and county government finance, policy, and governance, I believe it positions me to seamlessly fill the role and meaningfully contribute to this body and the city of Charlotte immediately. We are indeed in unprecedented times, and more than ever, our city needs an experienced government professional in this short-term role. I do love this city, what we are, and more importantly, what we have become. I thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Darielle Logan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello there. Thank you, Madam Mayor and City Council, for allowing me to speak with you today. I am originally born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2006. I saw an opportunity for raising a family and also educational and employment opportunities here in Charlotte. So Charlotte is now home, being here for many years. I also obtained my bachelor's degree from Pfeiffer University from here. I am married and I have 3 children. I met my husband here in Charlotte. So Charlotte is home altogether. While I may be considered green as far as experience in serving publicly, I do offer a opportunity to serve, and I would like to be able to serve the city of Charlotte, serve the constituents, the community. And also I was able to feed the homeless with my church. It's something that we do down on Pfeiffer. And I was able to see an opportunity for our underserved community and underserved demographic of our community, which is the homeless. And I recognize there were many young folks that were there, many families who are homeless, and that struck home with me. And I would like to bring my experience of management and being able to bring others together to come to resolutions and solve issues to the city and to serve the city of Charlotte. I think it will be an honor and privilege to serve the city of Charlotte, the citizens, community, the neighborhoods, and my family. I have no plans for running for the position if once the term is ended come October. So I just wanted to see if this would be a good opportunity for me
Thank
to
you
enter
very
into
much. Thank you very much, Ms. Fry. Really appreciate it. Our next speakers are Brenda Adams. I'm sorry.
That was Ms. Logan. Ms. Fry.
That's Ms. Logan, sorry. Ms. Logan, my apologies. All right, so we're going to go to Patricia Fry. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So my name is Patricia Fry, although a lot of people know me as Ollie. I am a former early childhood education teacher, and currently I'm a member of the ILC 322. And so I have a lot of time right now on my hands with our industry being kind of closed down due to COVID. And I've never done anything like this, so, but I have always had a lot of ideas and passion towards not what could be changed with the structure, because I've looked over your strategic plans and they look amazing. And the strategic policy and your vision with, you know, affordable housing, homelessness, and gang activity, reaching our communities to be safer. I think I would be a really good fit to just enhance the strategy part and use my skills with people, development, human development, and my skills with digital art to transform the way we think about assistance with asking for help, and encourage people to share their stories more so we can find out how did we get here. So not so much how we're going to fix it, but how did we get here? How do we take the problems that we have and look to the seed of the core of where in the process of growing did they miss on the vitals of, you know, thriving. So that's what I would love to bring to the table, and in the meantime hopes that our entertainment industry goes back into full-on shows. So yeah, that's all I've really prepared today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now our next 3 speakers are Brenda Adam, Juan Uven, and Felicia McCoy. So Brenda Adams, you're up. Brenda Adams?
Okay. Brenda, Miss Brenda, if you can start speaking. Okay, we'll figure out.
All right, we'll circle back to Miss Adams. Juan Uven? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you very much. If you will go ahead and begin speaking.
Sure. Hi, my name is Juan Euban. I believe I can add value to the city of Charlotte and to the council. Both my background and my experience make me a great candidate. I was a sergeant in the 82nd Airborne Division. I was a logistician. I prepared a company of 120 soldiers to go to Afghanistan in 2003 during the third rotation into Afghanistan. I'm the recipient of 2 bachelor's and an MBA from UNC Charlotte. And as far as how we can help the city, these are my beliefs. I believe that zoning should not be administered by city council, it should be administered by staff. We need to be more capable to make better decisions who will be able to make better decisions. I believe the opportunity zones should be paired with first-time home buyer grants, such as the LIFT program, which was available about a year or 2 years ago. Affordable housing, families that have children under 7 years old should get priority for affordable housing. And I also believe that the city council should pass the following ordinance related to utility poles. Whenever there's an accident, Duke usually repairs the pole or Jerry rigs a pole and makes some repair. But the utility owners should notify the other entities such as AT&T or Time Warner or whoever else is using the pole as well, so that they can make necessary repairs instead of leaving things Jerry rigged behind. Thank you for your time, and hope you consider me for this role.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Thank you very much. Felicia McCoy.
Hi, my name is Felicia McCoy. Thank you to the mayor, to the pro tem mayor, and all council. I am an educator, and I have been working for Union County Public Schools now for over 15 years. I'm originally from South Carolina, and I feel like this opportunity would only get me closer to the community that I serve now. I enjoy working with children and families. And most of my time in education has been working with low-income, at-risk children and families. I work with Thompson Kids, which goes out. I went out and I worked with small daycares to get them on that scale where they can earn their license ratings and educate the teachers that they already have there. I have also spent a lot of my time working with the public school system and a math specialist, and also teaching within the classroom. Working with children and families is really important to me because I have had the opportunity to work with low-income, at-risk children and families. So getting out into the community and getting to know them and their needs and just finding out different things about me has been my top priority, and I love doing it. And not only that, I have been serving the community in so many ways. I work with CMPD Animal Care and Control. I also work with Faith Serve. We usually go out to Tent City and we serve a lot of the homeless out there. And a lot of this calling, just comes from the heart. And I would love to be a part of the council and just bring more of this to the forefront. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next 3 speakers are Jason Spooner, Joshua Lepak, Nicole Braxton.
Madam Mayor, we can try Miss Adams again if you want to see if she can.
So Miss Adams is ready now?
We'll see, we can see.
We will go ahead. If you, Mr. Spooner, if you'll just give us a minute, and we will go back to Brenda Adams, and she will present,
yes,
and then we'll go to the next list. Yes, Brenda Adams.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Lyles, it's Brenda Adams on the line now.
Yes. But you have 2 minutes, Miss Adams.
Oh. Okay. Well, again, this is Brenda Adams. I'm a Charlottean, born and raised here. I care about my community. I've seen it grow and flourish over time. I've always had just an interest in local politics, well, politics as a whole. I just think that we all need to do our duty, and just stay in tune with local, state, and federal level politics, whether that's being an avid voter or, holding those accountable in the community, that sort of thing, getting involved in some way, sacrificing our time, sacrificing ourselves, devoting our talents just to the greater good of the community. That's what I believe in. And especially, you know, as a person of color, I admire those that came before us, you know, that sacrificed and you know, laid the groundwork for, you know, all the opportunities and things that we have today. I believe in, you know, just doing the same thing, you know, just carrying on tradition of service and, you know, to the community. Like I stated before in the application, I just always had an interest in, you know, the policy, the groundwork of how city government works, setting policy and approving financing, you know, for city operations and all that you all do, you know, enacting ordinances and that sort of thing. Just being involved with it, understanding how it works, understanding how decisions are made, how it impacts the community. A lot of people don't understand that. So just to be a part of that and, you know, and knowing the person that I am, that knowing what I will bring to the role. I'm not doing this for ego, not for additional income and that sort of thing, but just doing it because I feel as though I'm a person of great integrity, a person with a great work ethic, and that sort of thing. You know, I understand how I would feel and what I would want for those in a
I'm sorry, your
position of power
time
to
is
work
up,
on my
Miss.
behalf.
I'm so sorry, but your time is up, and we really appreciate it. Send any comments that you have that you'd like in written form to the clerk's office. Thank you very much. I'm going to do the next three and then go here. All right, our next three speakers are Jason Spooner, Joshua Lipak, Nicole Braxton. Miss Jason Spooner, you're up.
Awesome, thank you so much. So I want to start by just saying thank you to the mayor pro tem, the council members, and of course, all of the citizens of this great city for taking the time to come together today and for giving consideration for this role. I also want to extend just a note this call for about an hour now, and I've listened to so many amazing applicants share their voice and their vision, and the common theme that I'm hearing is just serve. Everyone on this call wants to come into this role and just help lift up the city of Charlotte and do their part to make this city wonderful and better for all those involved. And that's inspiring. It's inspiring to me, and I hope it's inspiring to the city council and to everyone else, all the other applicants that are here. I came to the city 20 years ago for my undergraduate education, UNC Charlotte. I've had the opportunity to experience firsthand just the incredible growth and evolution of the city. And I believe in the city and its residents, and it's because of the citizenry, both the newcomers and the natives, that I chose to raise my family in Charlotte. There's just a sense of pride and community that permeates all of Charlotte's neighborhoods. And it's the same pride that encourages our citizens to celebrate our victories and speak up when we know that we as a city can do more for the people of Charlotte. In my professional career, I've had the privilege to work with a number of companies and stakeholders in leadership roles. I've worked closely with the leadership of both the CRBA and the CRVA. Through this work, I've been able to develop a key understanding of the business drivers and the success metrics that we as Charlotte are looking for. I've also had a chance to work as a small business owner myself with many local businesses here in Charlotte. And that's given me key insight into just the different makeup of the neighborhoods, from South End to Ballantyne to West Charlotte to East Charlotte, you know, how we come together as a mosaic to make the city so fantastic to live in and to grow and support.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spooner. Your 2 minutes are up. Our next speaker is Joshua Lipak. That's okay. Joshua Lipak.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Josh Lipak. I'm a native Charlottean, local attorney, and have been practicing real estate law now for the past 5 years. I live in McCrory Heights with my husband Gerald and our 1-year-old French bulldog. We just got married recently this past August after making the difficult decision not to allow any guests out of concern for our friends and family due to COVID-19. And yet, despite global turbulence, we're both grateful to live in what I truly consider to be a shining city upon a hill and look forward to starting a family here in the near future. I've never held or sought public office, not for lack of interest. I just honestly have no desire now or in the future to run a campaign. But there are many forms of public service. For example, my mother just came back out of retirement as an RN to help with the vaccine rollout right here in Charlotte. And because I hold all forms of public service in high regard, I find myself here today. Following the progress of our city's growth throughout my lifetime has been seriously, and in the nerdiest way possible, almost like a pastime for me, which is why it would be a tremendous honor to have the opportunity to serve my lifelong community and to work with all of you for however short a period of time on initiatives like Charlotte Moves and Corridors of Opportunity to help foster the continued growth that we become nationally recognized for, but particularly in this time of need and uncertainty, to also ensure that all Charlotteans stand to benefit from our united success and prosperity. Being that this is an appointed rather than an elected position, I still felt it was important knowing I had the support of my community to serve. And so, over the past week, I've had friends, colleagues, other real estate professionals, various small business owners, including Cathay Dawkins, founder of BBOC, and even my parents reach out to confirm and express their support. It's truly been a pleasure being a part of this process. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Nicole Braxton.
That was good.
Nicole has not joined us.
I'm sorry, she's not.
Nicole is not on. She has not joined us.
Okay, all right. So I want to go, Curtis Stone. Curtis Stone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if you'll go ahead and begin speaking, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling on me. I am sorry I'm late to the party. I think I'm supposed to be there at 12 o'clock, but I ended up double booking my hours. So I'll take a quick 30 seconds and just say I appreciate being considered for this position. I didn't, prepare anything ahead of time, so I don't know what that makes me look like, but I know that the position and the opportunity to be able to serve the community would be something that I took incredibly seriously as a 25-year resident of Charlotte, North Carolina, via moving from California. I've also raised 2 kids here, got married, started 2 different businesses, and weathered the COVID storm so well that we're looking at opening up another location. So whatever I could do to help the community, that's what I'd be doing for the panel. So that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you. That's exactly what makes this city a great place, because of people like that with that attitude. Thank you very much. All right, our next 3 speakers are Jessica Foster, Martiza Ortez, Samantha Gilman. Jessica Foster?
Yes, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and begin. You have 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Jessica Foster, as you said. I'm a 35-year-old military police captain in the North Carolina National Guard. I have a Bachelor of Science in Architecture and Urban Studies and a graduate certificate in Urban Management and Public Policy. I've personally had an interest in running for council for quite a while, but I've actually really enjoyed the representation that I've had, so it didn't make sense for me to run against them. But I'd be remiss to not at least apply to be appointed at this point in time. I saw the list of people applying yesterday and have listened to a lot of the 2-minute speeches, and I am encouraged and intimidated. I'm encouraged by how many of my neighbors and community are wanting to improve the quality of life for others in Charlotte, and I'm intimidated because I don't have the background that a lot of them have, and every time someone speaks, I just think about how unqualified I am, but I do have the passion and the perspective and the purpose, and I look forward to the opportunity to be able to do something beyond the volunteering that I do in the community for food justice and affordable housing and mobility and accessibility. I acknowledge that addressing each of these individually is like putting a drop in the bucket, and that each of them there needs to be an intersectional approach to improving the quality of life in Charlotte, improving and maintaining the quality of life in Charlotte. I am a homeowner, and I was able to purchase my home through things like House Charlotte, Neighborhood Lift, and the Lead Safe program, and I think that these are things that if more people knew about them, that they could do a lot more as far as affordable housing goes. It doesn't fix it, but it would help, and I do think that the ability to market these programs is a good place to start. I just spoke really quickly, and I apologize, but I hope you guys have a good day, and I don't envy your, this is gonna be a tough decision. I don't envy being on council at this point in time.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Maritiziza Ortiz.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please begin.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lyles and City Council members. My name is Maritza Ortiz, and I have been a Field Creek resident since 1989. I am an empty nester of 2 Olympic High School and Appalachian State University graduates. I was born in Puerto Rico and grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a bilingual educator fluent in Spanish with over 20 years developing young minds to grow and think. I have passion, motivation, drive, and commitment to mentor, teach, and volunteer in our community. I have volunteered as a tutor with the YWCA, Heart Math Tutoring, and at the Lucky's Barbershop, serving the oppressed and marginalized. The reason that I want to be a member of the City Council is due to my concerns about the lack of affordable housing for the working poor, the city's lack of economic mobility, the income inequality that exists, and our increasing crime rates in Charlotte. I don't want our city to be known as the tale of 2 cities, the city of poverty and the city of prosperity, or Gotham City, as some people in my neighborhood call the southwest area of Charlotte. Our working poor need to make an average of $17.67 an hour to be able to afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment. I am not a stranger to living in poverty. In 2005, my children and I relied on my part-time salary of $1,400 a month until I began receiving the court-mandated child support. I was blessed and fortunate that my mortgage was only $500 a month. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would not have been able to afford an apartment and have enough for food, expenditures, etc. I believe that our increasing crime rate is tied to our current ranking in economic mobility, our low salaries for the working poor, and lack of affordable housing. Therefore, I want to help co-create and usher in a tale of one city where all can flourish and thrive and all have a place at the table in our great city of Charlotte. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Samantha Gilman.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Samantha Gilman. I'm one of the many moms in Charlotte working full-time at home with a little one running around the house, supporting my family financially and emotionally. I'm here today because I recognize how this council can support the Charlotte community and its families in this extremely hard time. And I recognize how I can be part of that good work. I want to start with a quick story. When I was 8 months pregnant with my son, I was laid off from the solar developer company I was working for. I did some quick research and I found out I had no support, not from the federal government, not from the state of North Carolina, and not from Charlotte. I was unable to collect unemployment because I was unable to work, simply because I was doing something so core to this community. I was starting a family. Unfortunately, this is not a unique story. Like this council has laid out, we need to develop pathways to employment for those who are unemployed, especially now for those who find themselves unemployed due to COVID, like my husband. Plus, we need to support our families with paid family leave and affordable childcare. This council has also prioritized strategic investment in core corridors, and I see this as a prime opportunity to build and invest in homes and neighborhoods of the future. Neighborhoods that are energy efficient, built for renewable energy in the connected home. Not to mention all these public transportation supporting these corridors need to be clean or electric. I've served on a number of councils and boards, and I understand how to get work done in this sort of environment. I've worked for a member of Congress, both in his district office and in his Capitol Hill office in Washington, D.C., serving constituent requests, advising on policy, and learning how the government works from inside. I've also gotten my hands dirty working with Habitat for Humanity, working to build homes here in Charlotte, in Washington, D.C., New Orleans, and several countries in Latin America. I thank the council for allowing us to have this time today to give our 2 cents.
Your time is up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, we have our final 4 speakers, starting with Bruce Clark, Jeffrey Simpson, Edwina Corprew, and Nancy Wiggins. All right, Bruce Clark, you're up.
Madam Mayor, members of council, city staff, my fellow applicants, and the people of Charlotte. My mission is to build support and coalitions focused on connecting every member of our community to opportunity. For me, service begins with empathy, It's meant the world to me to work with people from nearly every corner of this city. It's their stories that define my hope to do my part and move Charlotte forward. Given how quickly our city is growing, it can feel to many like we're all along for the ride. I believe we can ensure a collective vision for the future guides our decisions and priorities, from classrooms to job centers and from grocery stores to kitchen tables. Before we can realize our potential, we have to effectively understand our interconnectedness as a community. For over 13 years, I've worked across Charlotte as a small business advocate, a lead regional campaign staffer for Barack Obama, Anthony Fox's mayoral campaign manager, and for the past 5 years, I've led Charlotte's digital equity efforts. In this most recent role, I've led an alliance of partners to bridge the digital divide, aiming to make Charlotte the most digitally equitable city in America. Core to that work has been development of community-based workshops for over 1,000 families across 50 schools and dozens of nonprofits throughout Charlotte. We can work together in Charlotte to build an economic and empowerment strategy that ensures everyone can thrive. Several key items on the agenda this year will move us in that direction, and I'm ready to help drive these initiatives over the finish line in 2021, and to put as many plans in place to make sure a sustainable, progressive agenda can start now and continue helping people for years to come. If we've learned anything about the people of Charlotte over the past year, it's that our resilience as individuals, families, and a community may have no bounds. The strength of the human spirit is on display every day in our community, and we need nothing less to navigate the historic challenges that surround us and whatever may come next. You can count on me to be prepared for the role, to be a collaborative colleague, to remain focused on the will of the community, to protect the integrity of our local government, and to deliver tangible
Thank you very
wins
much,
for my
Mr.
fellow
Clark.
Charlotte citizens.
Mr.
Thank
Clark,
you.
thank you. All right, Jeffrey Simpson.
Yes,
Jeffrey Simpson, we can hear you if you begin.
Madam Mayor and to Council, Madam Mayor, I'm very honored to be able to speak to you and to present myself to yourself as well as to the board. I'm originally from Hartford, Connecticut. I'm a Marine Vietnam veteran, and I actually transitioned from Maryland to Charlotte back in 1995. People that are aware, that know me, I'm known as a mover and shaker. I kind of get that reputation because of my belief as well as my attitude as far as getting things done. I take on challenges that motivate me to action of serving people and observing the results of my efforts, even when those efforts are unnoticed or unappreciated, whether as an individual or team player. Some of the things I've done with regards to volunteerism over the years that while in New Hampshire, I was the vice president of the branch of the Manchester, New Hampshire NAACP for 13 years. I also here in Charlotte served on the Community Relationships Committee, committees such as the Crisis Response Team, as well as the Fair Housing Subcommittee. I'm also presently on the Charlotte Citizens Review Board, okay, and also within my community, I am the president of my HOA. Basically, with all those types of things I just described to you, I believe and hope you too, my background and attributes will be of value to the missions and goals as at large within the Charlotte City Council. I thank you for this time.
Thank you very much. Edwina Corpru?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Can you see and hear me?
Yes, we certainly can, both.
Awesome. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and to the esteemed members of the City Council, and to all the great support staff that's making this happen. Mine is going to be very different than everybody else, because I can tell you that I didn't see myself sitting here talking to you as recent as 2 months ago. I consider myself to be a passionate servant leader, but I'm also a businesswoman. I am a disruptor. I'm a game changer, and I believe in transformation. What brought me here today was 2020. We saw the most incredible global disruption that this world has ever known. And I believe that the person that's sitting with you in this role coming up for the next 10 months needs to understand disruption and how to answer that call. I'm here today because it's not just the 7 initiatives around homelessness that are important, or community recovery, or workforce and business development, or even intergovernmental relationships that are all very key, but being able to create a post-pandemic stabilization for what's to come. I bring that to this community. I'm here today because I believe that history is looking at our generation, and history is going to record how we respond, not just to the current things that plague us, but being able to provide a future and a pathway to a very sustainable future. So I want to close with these comments. One of the persons that I admire is Margaret Mead, and she's known very much for this comment, that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And while that is a wonderful saying, I want to leave you with my personal conviction, and that is that I must admit that I personally measure success in terms of the contributions of an individual makes to his or her fellow human beings. I'm here today to serve our entire community and to provide a place where Charlotte attracts and retains people from all over the world who want to call this place home. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to serving with you.
Thank you very much. Nancy Wiggins?
Mayor Lyles?
Yes?
I didn't see Ms. Corporow's.
Yes. You're right. I should have mentioned that. The next, I think you have Ms. Wiggins, but not Ms. Corpruz, and you will get that from the city clerk as soon as this meeting is over. And it was emailed. Sorry, it was not in the book. It was emailed this morning.
It's in the ineligible portion of the notebook.
I didn't see it in there.
Okay.
So I didn't have it either, Mr. Winston. We will ask the clerk to resend it this afternoon as soon as we can. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. I should have said that. Now, you have Ms. Wiggins in your book, however. I just want to make sure it's a screenshot of her application. So, Ms. Wiggins?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
You may want to speak up a little bit, Ms. Wiggins.
I need to speak a little louder?
Yes, a little louder. That would be helpful.
Okay, thank you. Fellow Charlotteans, I'm Nancy Wiggins, and I'm seeking this interim appointment because I feel that I have the experience, expertise, and love to make a solid contribution to Charlotte now and for its future. I believe that with the guidance of our professional staff like Tolu, Jacoby, that we need to concentrate on the 4 areas that Council has identified so that we can provide a safer community. We are going to need a better connectivity so our service responders have a better chance to resolve emergencies before they become tragedies. I believe that we should continue our vertical expansion, modernize and expand our transit solutions, and vertically integrate our neighborhood lifestyles where affordable housing can locate within more affordable, affluent neighborhoods, as we successfully did in the 1970s. I was one of the renegade planning commissioners in the late 1990s that insisted that we rebuild First Ward, and I think our premonition was correct. This economy is built on location, logistics, finance, energy, and enterprise. It is our lifeblood. Major sports have been able to successfully thrive at our center city. One thing I constantly do is listen to and respond to Charlotteans when I'm on boards and commissions so that I can understand their needs and desires in order to translate them into positive public policies. I was honored by the Board of County Commissioners who inducted me into the Order of the Hornet this past fall, for service in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Planning Commission for 12 years, Living Communities Recycling Committee, the Mayor's Committee for the City Budget, and also for Global Housing Foundation. I appreciate your interest, and I hope that you will consider my application seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that is our last speaker for this special meeting, but I wanted to go back. There are just a few housekeeping things to do. Mr. Winston asked about Ms. Edwina Corpruz's application. It was inserted in the wrong section, so if you go to those that says not eligible and pull out, hey, is that Brooklyn or Cheyenne? Hi. Wave, yeah. Say hi to everybody. Okay, so if you will go to the second part of your book that says not eligible and pull out Edwina, CORPEREW application, then you can insert it in the correct portion of the book. The next thing that I wanted to do is just thank everyone. I just can't believe how many of you have put such passion and interest and willingness into this venture. And reading your resumes and reading these applications has truly been a gift to us. And it's going to be difficult. I wish we could choose everyone that was interested, but we have ways to choose you in other abilities to serve, and there are other places to serve. So I hope that we will choose one person to serve in this vacancy, but I hope that you'll consider the multiple choices that your talents and your passion can be part of the city's growth and ability. I'm very clear that this is the right way to have people express their interest in what we do. And thank you very much, all of you, for your participation. And so with that, are there any comments from the council? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Mayor, I have a comment.
Ms. Watlington?
I just wanted to reiterate what you said about other opportunities to serve, not only with the city government, with the county government, and even in local nonprofits. Don't let this be the last time you guys step up, because there are a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of need. We need to build the pipeline. So please reach out if there are other things that you have seen here at the city you'd like to learn more about. Thanks. And I'll move to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn, and is there a second?
Ms. Johnson has a comment.
I'm sorry, Ms. Johnson has a comment. Ms. Johnson, you're recognized.
I'll second the motion. I'll speak at the Monday. I'm so impressed and humbled and inspired by everyone, by all of their comments. So thank you, stepping up, everyone.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. This is a unanimous vote for adjournment. We'll see everybody on Monday. Thank you very much, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.